Welcome, friends and enemies, to the Adventures of the Bane Glorious. We've got everybody here. We've got Kathryn. We've got Jess.
Hello.
We've got Simon.
Well, hello there.
We've got Ed.
Hello.
And we've got our special guest star, Adam.
Howdy, partner.
Okay.
Series.
Always glad when I get to go first, because then there's no build up with everyone doing their greetings. I can just do a normal hello, and it's fine.
Yeah, which is.
But if I do that after everyone else, then it sucks.
I don't know. It's either that we start with normalcy or we end with normalcy. So I'm okay with either, really.
Okay. So just don't go in the middle. That's what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Previously, you were in the facility that Juniper's dad had built and maintained. You had an awkward dinner with him discussing various things, mainly about Farrellin and what she had come to this station for, and the fact that he had designed the mask for her, the Sword of Souls, and any information he might have on that, any way that he might be able to locate Farrellin. And through a few discussions, he posited that he would perhaps be able to locate her, but you would have to pay him for an object to invent in order to do this. He also offered the information that he had on the Sword of Souls, which turned out to be a fable, free of charge as a favour to Juniper. Once dinner had concluded, he went off to the library in order to search out the fable, and you were taken to a room by Maybe where you could relax amongst some trinkets. This went on for a little while, and then it turned out that an individual had been using that room previously, whom you had met before, who was the professor. You had another briefer confrontation with this goblin artificer and tried to take most of his stuff from him, again, which he vehemently objected to. There was a bit of discussion as to why he was there, what he might be doing, and he revealed that there might be a conclave of sorts being put into place of artificers and inventors. After a little bit more of discussion, he managed to escape and take back the things that you had taken from his person, whilst Elsie had tried and Erallur had tried to keep them from each other. He managed to actually steal the objects back and ran down the hallway pursued by Maybe. Keybrenner, Juniper's dad, came back and then took you deeper into the tunnels, having given Flint the book with the fable of the Sword of Souls within it. He took you deeper into the tunnels, round apparently to where Farrellin had entered the station and then exited the station, towards a room that had a rope bridge over some rocks and a fast-running stream, a door that seemed to lead to a familiar purple light, which looked like it might be the portals. And at this point, Keybrenner betrayed you and closed the door, saying that he wanted Juniper to stay with him. And whilst Erallur tried to gather everybody together in order to use the Cuirass's plane shift, a beholder in Spichion descended from a hole in the ceiling, and unfortunately you were in his sight at the point where Erallur tried to get you out. After a little bit of dithering of people not necessarily joining hands in time, the plane shift was cast, it didn't work, and a battle began where various eye rays got shot, mostly at Saluk, because of where he was and where the anti-magic cone was. Flint got dropped in the water, Juniper got sent to sleep, Erallur used Blink to try and stay out of the anti-magic cone, which worked quite well, and also used Catapult to launch a few rocks at the beholder. Saluk managed to hit it in the flank a few times. Elsie managed to fire off a firebolt, having moved out of the cone. Flint, whilst restrained, managed to shoot it, which was very impressive, before he was dropped in the water by the telekinetic ray. And with a final blow of the catapult, you managed to bring the beholder down. Flint, however, was unable to grasp any of the slick rocks and was pulled into a very low tunnel under which the water seemed to flow. Saluk ran and dived and flew after him, managed to submerge under the water but grab him, and they are perilously holding on to the ceiling, secured slightly by a rope, but it's not the best of holds, and you can hear higher noise of rushing water further down the tunnel. What are you doing?
So there's no way of climbing down to any ridges or anything like that at all?
No, the way that the tunnel works is that it overarches and the water level is almost to the top. So there's not really any ledges to climb to or from. It's just water and then this very low hanging ceiling to which you're secured by a rope and Saluk has dug his claws into in order to stay in place.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to look at Saluk and say, any ideas?
Saluk is absolutely clueless of what to do. They seem to be a little bit stuck. It's either kind of let go and carry on or just hang on. So he, as best as he can, he shrugs with the weight.
Well, perhaps we just wait for everybody else then.
Do we know where they've gone?
I would say, because you would have seen Flint fall because of where you were. So
would I have then seen Saluk go after him?
You definitely would have seen that, yes.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to, you could move into the middle of the bridge and make a perception check to see if you can still see them.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay.
24.
Yeah, it's difficult, but because you have dark vision, you can see that far. They are a little bit down this tunnel, secured to the rock, slightly perilously, but just hanging out at the moment as the water buffets against their position.
Right, okay. Guys, Shorty and the bird man are down there.
Like a band name.
Shorty and
I love
bird.
It's like Hootie and the Blowfish.
I'm writing it down. That's how much I like it. It would make a good group name if it was just those two. I saw them early. I saw Flint in the water, didn't I?
You did,
and
yes.
I tried to use something and it turned out I couldn't use it. So
And by now, the bubbles will have stopped.
Oh, that's right, because of the bubbles.
Yes.
But I can't see them now, presumably, because they're in the tunnel.
Well, you have dark vision, don't you?
Right, yes.
Yes,
thought
so I
for some
think
reason I was imagining it.
I think you can, because you were in the middle of the bridge. You're now next to Elsie, and you wouldn't have taken your eyes off Saluk, so I think you would be able to just see them.
Okay, and so hang on, is there a reason Saluk could fly out himself, right?
The tunnel's a little bit low. He'd have to swim a little way and then come up out of the water.
But the water is flowing that way, right?
Yes.
Mm. And they're both hanging onto a rope?
No, I believe Flint is hanging onto a rope, so Luke has dug his talons into the ceiling.
Elsie's next to me.
Yes.
I'll say to her, I could try and move the rope with them on it, but it's attached to the ceiling.
Oh.
Also, we risk me dropping both of them in the water.
Well, there's worse things for landlubbers, I suppose. Going for a swim?
Why don't we think of those worst things later? How far away are they right now?
They are 40 feet from you.
Okay, bear with. I have a plan. I just need to check the range.
I can do some small things to water if that is helpful.
Well, do you have Ray of Frost?
No.
Okay. You just stay there then. It's 60 feet, so I'm going to try and freeze the water underneath them. Because neither of them are in the water, right?
They're slightly in the water. Yeah.
I'll freeze the water slightly to the side of them so they have something to land on.
Okay. So I would say make an attack roll, because Ray of Frost is usually an attack roll, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, I've got to get my dice out.
And how... Ray of Frost doesn't usually work like this, but we have used it this way before.
I have, yeah.
How much water does it freeze? Just because I'm thinking, if you're just freezing the surface...
It's a beam of light, so... I mean, it's up to you, because obviously it's not built for that.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering...
But it's a straight line rather than a cone or anything.
You would likely just freeze a part of the surface, similar to an iceberg just floating on the water, so it wouldn't...
So it wouldn't stay still.
It's a cool idea, just because it's a low-level spell as well. It wouldn't do what I think you want it to do and just make a solid piece of ice that they can then get onto, if that makes sense.
I mean, at higher levels, you do more damage. I don't know if you would translate that to mean a larger area of effect.
I think that would make sense if you were doing it at higher level, because it
as in automatically damage. It does. Hang on, I've lost it.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those cantrips where the higher level you are, it just
Okay.
automatically does more
So
d8s.
how many d8s does it do?
It does
now?
3 now.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I'll make it contingent on the dice because I feel like if I say no to such a creative idea, it's mean. So, have you rolled your attack?
No, I'll do that
Okay,
now.
so roll your attack first of all, because you could end up just hitting the wall.
Yeah. Dirty 20.
Okay, you will hit the portion of the ice. Here's an idea. Why not hit the portion of the ice behind them?
Hmm.
Because then it can only bump into them rather than just flow straight past them.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
And they could maybe use it as a platform to get out of the water and then jump
hopefully.
a little
Yes,
way. Yeah?
that sounds
Okay.
good.
So, portion of the ice freezes behind you, Sir Luke. Can you roll damage for me, Kathryn?
Yes. 1. 15.
Okay. Yeah, a fairly solid chunk of the water actually gets frozen behind you. You can see the ice goes down into the flow quite far, Sir Luke. It looks like it's not going to stay there for a long time if you move, but it certainly gives you the possibility of jumping off, maybe out of the tunnel and then being able to swim or fly out. But that would be contingent on checks.
Okay, so making very quick decisions. Did we do anything? We did stuff with a rope last game, didn't we?
Yes.
What's
So
the rope
Flint,
situation?
you managed to give Flint a lasso that had attached to a stalactite, but quite loosely, because you were throwing it up and under, which is quite a difficult throw, but you just managed to attach it and he's just dangling. And at the moment it looks safe, but it's not gonna maintain if he moves a lot.
And he's in the water holding onto the rope.
Yes, but probably up to his chest.
Flint, do you think you could climb up the rope onto the stalactite?
Well, I'll give it a go, and I start to try and
Okay.
climb up.
So your climbing speed is the same as your walking speed, I believe, because
It
of who
is.
you are. So I will say, because of that, you don't need to make a check for this because you're used to climbing. So you can get up there. What I will do is I will make a check for the rope because it's not the strongest of holds.
Can I hold on to the loop where it is from where I am?
You definitely could, yeah. I will say the rope makes that with advantage then because you're holding it.
I helped the rope.
I want a sentient rope.
Okay, yes. You do feel the rope creaking, but with Sir Luke securing help and that extra boost, it does hold enough for you to clamber up and put your arms and legs around this thick stalactite.
Good. Now, can you loop the end round yourself?
I'll give it a go, and I'll give it my best.
Okay, so you slip the rope from the stalactite, widen the lasso, and put it around your waist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll say make a dexterity check just to see how well the knot works.
15.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty secure.
Nice. I just look at Sir Luke and give a thumbs up before immediately grabbing back onto the stalactite.
I feel like the thumbs up was needlessly reckless in that scenario. Okay, seeing that he's done that, I grab hold of the other end of the rope,
Okay.
or the length of rope.
Yeah,
ready
that's
to
dangling down. Got you.
Let it go as I move away. And then taking a moment to center myself, I concentrate on my step of the wind ability. And just a feeling of calm rushes over me, and I feel that I could jump double the normal distance by spending some ki.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, I have done so. And then I push off from where I am and try and land on the ice.
Okay, I will say make a dexterity check for that then, please. Well, this would be acrobatics.
Thank you. That's a 28.
Okay, so Luke grabs hold of the rope with one hand, is still talons in the stone with the other, gathers himself, and then swings out. And somehow, with one talon out holding the rope, still manages to do a forwards flip onto the ice, which then starts to move down the river. What are you doing next?
Is the ceiling high enough to take off?
Possibly. You'd have to get very flat very quickly or you would bump your head.
Okay. So with the same momentum, I launch forwards again and try and launch and flatten myself so I can get as much distance as possible, ready to start flapping my wings.
Basically, you're trying to glide out of the tunnel and then flap up as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say make an athletics check for that one then, please.
Oh, I missed the box. That doesn't go well. 9.
Okay, so you leap, and just as you think you've got your wings in the right place, one of them just buffets against another stalactite, and you start to spin slightly. Erallur, Elsie, you see Saluk's front flip, and you're very impressed, but then the next jump just doesn't quite work, and both of them start to fall towards the water again. Are you doing anything?
Sort of a splashing out.
Can I do anything?
If it's magical ice, why do you have to make it so slippy?
Ooh!
I used to have a loot that made people fly.
I can change the direction of water for 5. No, but it's only for 5 feet.
That might help.
Okay.
How long have we been?
Do you need to touch it, or is it distant?
No, yeah, it's just where they're about to land. Is that within 30 feet of me?
Yes, just.
Okay, so I cast Shape Water.
Okay.
And yeah, the water that they're about to fall into, I suppose rather than, because I can change it or instantaneously move it. So would it just be best just to stop it? So to stop the current in that area?
Let's just have a look. So this is shape water, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Shape Water, which is a cantrip.
Okay.
Yeah, I can instantaneously move or otherwise change the flow of water as you direct up to 5 feet in any direction. This movement, it doesn't have enough force to cause damage.
If you can move a block of water, could you transport the block of water that I'm in?
Well, the thing is that
You
there's
probably
one.
fall out of the block
Yeah.
of water.
Mhm.
It
Well,
doesn't freeze it.
I have one that can freeze it, but I can't freeze it if there's no creatures in it. Yeah.
Does it say you can stop the flow of water? Or does it
It's-
say you have to change its direction?
You instantaneously move or otherwise change the flow of water as you direct up to 5 feet in any direction.
Okay, that doesn't say stop the flow, it says change. So you
Hmm.
could turn it in the other direction,
Yeah.
and that would mean that they get a little bit of purchase towards you, and then so
Yeah.
you could maybe fly up out of it. But obviously, given the medium armor thing about your flight and carrying Flint, that's going to be more dicey.
Oh, that was never the plan, Mike. Saluk's plan is to reach land and then pull.
Oh, okay. Got you. So, yes, I will say you cast Shape Water.
Mhm.
The flow changes, and Saluk, you hit the water and notice that this tiny portion is going the other direction.
Oh. I've changed the direction of the water. I hope that helps.
Does it help?
Thank you!
It means, Saluk, that you flow slightly to one way and then are buffeted, but don't move as you try and swim a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit twirly.
Okay. From the minor distance I've been moved forward, what can I see to grab onto or lift
You are
myself
just outside of the tunnel, so you could try and make a strength saving throw to grab onto the side.
Let me just have a check. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, so make a strength saving throw then.
That's an 18.
Okay, you manage to dig your talons just into the rock. Flint is pulling on the rope a little bit. It's not going to last for long.
What are you waiting for? Get over here and pull! I
Oh,
place
okay.
myself
Yeah.
with one foot up against the archway of the tunnel to hold it.
Okay. Okay. So, does anybody go over?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so you
It
rush
moves.
over and get there. It takes
I
a
will
little
lend
bit
you
of
my strength.
time, but yeah,
As will I.
Elsie and Erallur go over there. Juniper, you're just up on the rocks, having been put to sleep and then woken up a couple of times by the Beholder, which is now dead, and Brenner is still wailing on the body with their axe. It looks like the rage has maintained for a little while.
Oh dear.
I will say either, well, So Luke, you need to make a strength check, and then Erallur and Elsie, you can make separate strength checks, or you can give one another advantage depending on what you want to do.
I mean, my strength is +1, so I don't know.
Well, yours is more than mine.
Okay.
So,
one.
yeah, I would say I will give you advantage.
Okay. In my head, that just means I'm pulling it and Elsie is there like, yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, I literally just tap you on the shoulder and go, you go, girl.
Okay, 18.
So Luke, what did you get?
7.
Okay, so just as Elsie and Erallur get there, you see the claws just start to rake from the stone and pull out. And Flint, there's a moment where the rope jerks as the flow starts to take you again. But then Erallur's arm with Elsie's grabs onto Sir Luke's talon and hefts him out of the water. I will need you to make strength checks again if you are still pulling, because Flint, although he's short, is quite heavy as a stocky dwarf.
Yeah,
So
Are we doing the advantage again?
it depends how you want to do it. So Luke, I presume you're pulling the rope as well?
I would say if we this time just make our own ones because we're all helping this time, I would say.
I realise I nod an awful lot for an audio format.
Yes.
16 from me.
Okay.
12.
I have -1 but got a natural 20.
Okay, so that is a 19, but because you can't crit on skill checks, but you know. So you managed to heft a rather beleaguered, bedraggled looking Flint out of the water, rope dripping as it's tied around his waist. You are now on shore.
Say, it's really hard being the tank and the magic person.
What is this tank and magic person?
You can be the magic person now. I'm going to go to school again.
I just look at Flint and just go, if only you could swim.
And I'm going to throw up loads and loads of water all over the area we are.
Okay. It just spatters the already slick rocks. And so, Luke, you just take wing in order to stop it from hitting you. The other two are a little bit peppered.
Oh, man. I don't have prestidigitation or anything.
I take a few weary steps up the bank and then spread my wings and just flap, 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 flap to dry off.
Okay.
And all my feathers are standing on end as if you just rubbed a cockatoo with a towel.
You do?
As you do. I mean, everybody understands that, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone has a cockatoo.
I've rubbed a cockatoo with a towel in my time.
That sounds really dodgy.
Oh dear. So, you are now in this chamber. The doors are still sealed. What are you doing? There is also a big hole in the ceiling, remember.
I retrieved all the javelins that I threw and that did nothing.
Well done. Okay. You find one of them, the
We tie up our horses.
the non-lightning one that you threw and missed with is just jammed between two rocks and is gently rolling in the sway of the river, but is retrievable. It didn't flow out and disappear.
How still is the beholder? Is the beholder completely gone?
It is very still now, particularly now that Brenner has chopped it up into a lot of pieces.
How intact is the main eye?
Oh, don't.
Fairly intact.
Can I go? I want to have a look at this eye, and I want to try and ascertain its anti-magic properties.
Okay.
How large is the eye in comparison to a dwarf?
It is probably about as large as his torso.
In my head, beholders look like Mike Wazowski, and that is the end of it. There is no persuading me.
Mike Wazowski.
So you're about to just pull out Mike Wazowski's eye.
So I would say make a nature check.
Okay. Ah, yeah. So that'd be a 21.
Okay. So are you pulling the eye out or are you...
I want to look at it for now and see if I
Okay.
can ascertain whether there's anything in the cornea or anything like that that seems to hint at how it can stop magic.
Okay, so you have a look at it and you look at the slit of the pupil. It seems like there are a couple of lenses in there that you don't recognize as having been in anything else you've seen in nature. Whether that's the source of the anti-magic cone or something that reflects that power, you're not really sure. You would have to dissect the eye in order to discern that level.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I take that eye out for study at a later date?
I will say with that nature check, that's not trouble. You know where the ocular nerve is. Do you want to take the ocular nerve with you or not?
Yeah, may as well. I'll
Okay.
take as much as I can.
Yeah, so you managed to do so with a little bit of help from Brenner as they use their axe to pull at the eyelid, and there is a, as it comes out, it's quite heavy, it's quite big.
Yeah? Will it fit in the bag of holding?
It could. You'd maybe need to squish it a little bit.
Okay. Who has the bag of holding again? Is it Juniper?
Always Juniper, yeah.
I'll walk up to Juniper. One, because she has the bag of holding, and also because there will be no judgment from her whatsoever as I bring over this big old eyeball and just say, you mind if I just squeeze that in there, if that's all right?
Okay. Does
Right.
does everybody have a beholder, Dad?
Not everybody.
A beholder. Does the name ring any bells?
I believe you tried to work out what it was last time and didn't do well, so no, it wouldn't for you.
No. Because I know we tried from visually and looking at it. Is that the first time the name's been mentioned?
Yes, but it still wouldn't trigger anything.
What in the skies is a beholder?
That we just thought is a beholder. But Juniper, did you recognize the name? What was it? Icaron?
Inspicion.
Inspicion.
Juniper shakes her head. No, it was only me and Dad. He never said there was a second hidden Dad with big eyes.
And what makes you say that a beholder might be a dad?
He said he created me. That's what dads do.
Well, in a way, dads look after, dads care for, dads...
Protect the eggs.
Precisely.
Sorry, that might not be as universal as I thought.
No, it's pretty much accurate, actually.
No, I might have been an egg. I don't remember.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the only dads or mothers or parents generally are the ones who stick around and have their children's best interests at heart. Now, whether this beholder created you or not, that doesn't make him your parent. That just makes him someone who brought you into this world. And for that, we're thankful, but doesn't mean he's your dad.
And you know what they say, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
They do also say that, yes.
I've genuinely never heard that phrase.
The look does not say that.
I just slowly push the eye in.
Can I see if the beholder has got pockets?
That was literally how I was going to phrase it. Literally.
Quote of the campaign. You absolutely can. Roll an investigation check.
Does it have pockets?
9.
No, I mean, other than the pockets that you have all created by destroying it,
He doesn't
and
keep
the
things in there.
very big pocket that you created with the stone that is still lodged in its stomach.
And the huge one where his eye used to be.
Yes. And Juniper, as you were having the conversation with Flint, you look over and see the now eyeless body of the beholder, apart from the eye stalks. It's an odd sight.
I don't think Juniper knows how to feel about this. This is a strange situation.
Mm-hmm. So, Vigo looks around and says, any ideas of where and how we go anywhere?
Well, if we want to all go at once to a different plane, then we'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Wait, you can do that?
Yes, I have this magical cuirass.
Okay.
It's called the Magister's cuirass.
That would have been useful to know before, but I can understand why you didn't trust me with the information. Okay. Wow, that's
So really, we could have all got out of the prison by ourselves if we wanted to.
Could
Yes.
that help us get through the door?
Not today.
Well, I know we've just fished them out of the water, but we could follow the current.
Do we have a sense of where that would go based on the geography of the place we're in?
Not really. The geography of this place is very confusing and very weird, and it's all moving. So Luke and Flint, you heard quite a loud noise of rushing water down that tunnel. You're not sure what that might mean, however.
Either way, I think we should go soon because presumably they intended to collect Juniper after this fight.
I'd imagine so. Have we checked out the hole above?
No.
In which case, Flint says, have we checked out what's above?
No, would you like a lift?
No, I think perhaps Saluk, if you don't mind, maybe going up doing some reconnaissance.
I'd give a swift nod and just wring out the last of the water from the end of my wing and
Okay.
take off upwards to have a look.
Okay. You fly into the hole. It is dark. You don't have dark vision. You quickly are unable to see.
As I hover in place, can I take out and light a torch?
You can. Okay, so as the shape of Saluk disappears into the darkness beyond most of your dark visions, you then see a spot of light emerge as he lights a torch. This tunnel goes on for quite a long time, but it is straight up. Do you go all the way?
As long as it doesn't take anything longer than 5 minutes.
Okay, it doesn't take longer than 5 minutes. It takes you about a minute, given how fast your flying speed is, but that's still quite long.
Because I've got the Wanderer background, would my knowledge of the geography and layout give me an accurate idea of how tall the tunnel is?
It would probably, yes. How far can you fly in 6 seconds?
That's one round, isn't it?
Yes.
50 feet.
50 feet. Okay, so if it takes a minute, then it would be a 500-foot tunnel, wouldn't it? Because it's 50 feet times 10, because that's how far you can move in 6 seconds. It takes you a minute, so yeah, 500 foot long.
Oh, that's a lot of rope. Is there anything at the top?
There is a large chamber at the top, which seems to have more of the tubes that you had seen throughout the facility. Some of them are much larger than others and have different coloured liquids within them, are lit up in different ways. But otherwise, the room looks deserted. There are a few desks, but it looks like the room is set up for a being such as the Beholder to be able to move around it quite easily. And you get the sense that Beholders not really desk-based workers.
Do these tubes, does Saluk recognise them as the same tubes that he's seen the creatures floating in?
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't look like anything that they could enter and use as transportation around?
No. They're not like a vacuum postal thing.
Okay. Without entering the room any further, just out of caution, can he see anything of interest, particularly any signage or written material that might give him any idea of what this is?
I would say make a perception check.
17.
Okay. You see on the desks there's a few bits of paper. There is a large book that is leather bound and tattered. It looks quite old. And there's a few pages that seem to have slipped loose of the binding. And on the cover there is a bit of acid damage as well. There's a few spots that have bleached the leather. You also see, again, more designs and blueprints similar to the ones that Flint found in the other office. These ones are rather more outlandish to your eye. That's about all.
Is there anything that either looks like the door or that looks like Juniper on these blueprints?
No. And by looks like the door, do you mean the door to this room or do you mean the door
The
downstairs?
locked one down below.
No, unfortunately not.
So Luke makes a quick dash into the room and grabs the leather-bound tome
Okay.
and then flies back down the hole.
Okay. So Luke comes as this point of light nears all of you and then enters the chamber holding a heavy book in one arm and the torch in the other.
I do not know how we could get up there. It's at least 500 feet.
See, you found something potentially interesting, though?
Yes, I have not opened it. I do not know what it is yet. But, there is a room up there. I think it is the creature's lair. It had papers and designs, I think, and the strange tubes full of creatures that we saw. I think it was where it worked. Here, have a look. I hand the book to Flint.
and I will have a look.
Okay. As soon as you open the book, you see that it is written in a language that you do not understand. The characters are very strange. They do not reflect any alphabet that you recognize immediately.
I will put on my helm of comprehending languages.
Okay. The letters rearrange themselves into words that you can understand. And you see that the title of the book is The Deadhead Project.
Okay.
And as you start to flick through, you find references to the new batch. You find references to some of that batch not surviving. And eventually you come to the fact that there is a sentence at the end of one chapter as you're quickly speed reading through. This one has decided to call itself Juniper.
Okay. I will pocket it and I will say, perhaps it would be good to discuss this after the fact. For now, I think we need to prioritize getting out.
I can get me and 3 others up there, but that leaves 2, I think. Not including Saluk, obviously, because he can fly.
While Saluk was up there, I got 3 pigeon skeletons.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you going to get them to carry you up?
I don't think that would work. They're pigeons.
If, just talking meta for a moment, if Kathryn were to fireball the beholder corpse to burn away the flesh and leave only the skeleton, could you then...
I believe Animate Dead is very specific on what you
Yeah.
can animate.
It's really annoying because it's very much like it has to be humanoid. Michael's been very nice and said I can have an animate animal spell, which allows me to live my best pigeon life, which I do appreciate. But that would probably have to be like, is it like a monster? Does it count? Or is it like an aberration?
It's an aberration.
An aberration. So you would need to be like an animate aberration.
I guess it stops you from just
Well, I
making
guess.
like dragon bone things.
Yeah, as awesome as that would be, like I think for like level 15 or whatever, that should definitely be a spell, but I don't think it exists.
Yeah, I mean, there are in the world beholder zombies, and there are other types of undead beholder, but the Animate Dead spell is not a spell that you can use to do that with.
How many did you say you can teleport, Witchy Lady?
I mean, I didn't say anything about teleporting, but me and 3 others.
Okay, well, Juniper is small. I am small. So couldn't Saluk fly us up?
No.
Oh.
And Salute goes off in a huff to the locked door.
Vigo also goes, I'm also small, but
Shush, you. Was that uncouth? Oh well.
Is there like a carrying limit to flying? Is that a
There
thing?
is to his flying, yes. He can't wear medium armor,
Okay.
which weighs less than a
So
person.
basically you can't carry another
No.
being.
Yeah, I guess it's to stop it from being super OP.
Yeah.
Person is like several medium arms.
What kind of bird person is he? Like,
I could turn somebody into a bird, but they would be as smart as a bird.
We also have, climbing equipment in our rucksacks, right?
See if you can transform Elsie. It will be the least difference.
I'll pretend that I didn't hear that.
Please don't pretend that you didn't hear that. That was really funny.
Well, potentially, seeing as we have lots of rope between us, Saluk, perhaps you could, or some other of us could potentially fly or teleport or whatever the rope up there, and then we can...
Well, all we
climb.
need is 2 people to be able to climb it. That's lower risk. So who are the 2 in our group who are most able to climb? Probably you, Flint.
It would
And
be 500 feet of rope. Do we have enough?
I have
Um,
50.
yes, me too.
So I've got 50 as well. So we only need 7. However much more.
Do you not have any rope in your bag?
I do, but strangely, not 500.
No, the deep bag.
Oh no, we don't plan that ahead. No. I mean, how many of us are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 times 50, probably. I'm assuming everyone would have 50 foot, which is not enough.
While this conversation is going on, can Saluk take a look at the locked door?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll
Hands
an
on.
investigation check.
Oh, yeah. Can I notice that he's looking at the door?
I would say roll a perception check.
We could put pitons on our hands and feet.
Isn't that?
That's what they do in climbing.
13.
So Luke,
9.
what did you... 9, okay. It's not really a door in the traditional sense. It's more a slab of rock that has fallen into place. Elsie, you do notice Luke looking over this piece of stone, seemingly to no avail. So Luke, you find the join, but it is very close. It's very well engineered.
It's a different door to the one that we came through and then closed behind us.
Yes, but the door that you came through is exactly the same.
Okay.
Find anything interesting?
Do not know much about mechanisms, but what I
Well,
do know is if somebody drops something this heavy in your way, it will make it very difficult for you to get through. We should probably
Well,
find a way around.
yes, that's probably true. I'll have a look anyway,
Another
though.
thing, Saluk and his people are not, we are not carrot size.
I never said you were. We were just in a tricky situation and you have wings. If I had wings, I would have thought the same about me.
Little ones do not understand. We do not carry other people. We fly for ourselves, especially not for ones as rude as you. And I go back to the group and then add my rope to the pile.
So, Elsie, are you having a look at the door?
Yes, please.
Okay, I will say roll an investigation check for you then, please.
23.
Okay. Yeah, there's no locking mechanism, there's no keyhole, there's no way to pick this open. It is, to your eye, and particularly given that you're a gnome and that you are very skilled in this kind of thing, you realize just how good the workmanship of this mechanism is. The sheer immensity of the machinery needed to keep this boulder in place above its falling is very impressive. The fact that it worked and seems to have not damaged the boulder or cracked it, equally impressive. It's going to be hard to get past this. And as you're inspecting, Brenner sidles up beside you and cracks their neck as if looking like they might be going to try and lift this stone.
I look at them and go, as much as you've got all the muscles, I don't think you're really going to do much with that bucko, I'm afraid.
Roll the persuasion check. Jess, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, so I've been reading through Polymorph
Mm-hmm.
and I can turn into any beast whose challenge rating is equal or less to my level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a challenge rating of 12. Can I think of any beasts that are within that challenge rating that can fly? Because I guess a young dragon would be a monster and not a beast, I guess.
Dragons are dragons. They are
Yeah.
a specific category of creature.
I mean, basically, I don't want to breathe fire. I just want to be something that's intelligent enough to just not go and eat some birdseed.
Okay. I mean,
Challenge rating 12.
That's actually quite high.
That's really
it's
high.
ridiculously high.
There's whatever an arcana loft is.
That's not a beast.
Hey?
That's not a beast. It has to be a beast.
I've just found a list that doesn't say. And what's an Erinyes?
Oh, that's a devil.
Don't do that. Oh no, oh no. Challenge rating 13. Adult grass dragon, adult white dragon.
Dragons.
To level up. Oh, challenge rating 13. A beholder.
I could pose as him.
One.
Okay. I think there aren't many beasts that go up to challenge rating 12. The highest beasts generally go up to challenge rating 8. Just
Okay.
usually because of their intelligence scores and things like that. In terms of what you've seen, the highest one would likely be a mammoth, which is challenge rating 6, but not terribly intelligent.
Yeah, and not probably great for this particular situation.
Well, it
It's gonna
depends.
be a mammoth.
If you wanted to try and ram the rock, that might work. You know, I don't want to push you down a particular path, but just in terms of what Juniper would think about the creature she can turn into. In terms of intelligent creatures, generally speaking, you're looking at a giant eagle. Those are pretty intelligent, but again, not massively. I think their intelligence is an 8, so they'd be at a -1.
Oh, so that means I could have a coherent thought of I want to do the thing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like, you know.
No.
A
But
car.
how useful a giant eagle would be in this situation? Debatable. You could fly. You could fly with somebody on your back.
I've thought about it. Do we want to try the door or go up? Because I could try and become something big that flies or something big that hits rocks.
I
Well-
got 12 for my persuasion roll.
Okay. They look at you for a moment, and there's a little bit of, well, I'm going to try anyway. And then you see them size up the rock, and then they just take the step back.
I think that's wise.
I know I asked this last time, but I can't remember the answer. This room is where we were told the portals were.
This room is next to the room that you saw familiar light to, which Keybrunner went into and sealed the doors from. So it's possible that the next room along is the ones with the portals in.
Behind the door.
Yes.
Okay. I think we should focus on the door because really if we're still following this trail, then that's where we'll have more luck.
All right. So, Juniper, you said you had a potential through.
Yeah. And I close my eyes and think really hard.
Just one point before you
Yeah.
do. Where are you doing this? Because currently you are on the side of the bridge from which you entered the room.
I'll probably go close to the door.
Okay, so you go close to the door. Elsie and Brenner step aside. Okay, so you're on the other side of the bridge. That's fine. Are
And
you?
now
Yeah.
I would like to cast polymorph on myself, which is an automatic success because
Yeah, because you want it
Resisting.
to happen. That's fine.
that would be very weird.
I'll cast a spell. I don't want it to happen.
Yeah, that'd be stupid. And I would like to turn into a mammoth.
Okay, so you see Juniper suddenly go down onto all fours, and she's not explained what her plan was necessarily. As
She
her
never
body
does.
ripples, the clothes disappear into suddenly much thicker fur coming from her skin, which darkens a little, and her tail actually becomes a tail rather than a little nub. Two great tusks beam out of her mouth. A trunk comes, and there is as a large mammoth appears on the stone next to Elsie and Brenner.
Would I know what a mammoth is?
No, I don't think you would. I think you'd likely have seen elephants, but not necessarily a mammoth.
Ooh.
We saw them in that weird forest thing, right?
Yes, but Elsie hasn't.
Yes, of course.
Oh, you became a hairy elephant.
I paw the ground with my big mammoth feet. Are they out of the way? Are they in the way of the thing?
No, they're at the side of you, so you could
Oh,
charge
good.
the door.
I would like to charge the
Okay.
door.
I believe that mammoths do actually have a charge attack. Let me
Yeah, there's a
just-
gore attack, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe it's similar to a rhinoceros. So if you move 20 feet in a straight line, you maybe can't do it unless you backed onto the bridge and squeezed yourself onto there and then ran. But that obviously risks this side of the bridge.
I mean, my gore attack seems pretty good. Like,
Okay.
Is
So
that
those of
tough?
you on the other side of the bridge, as the mammoth starts to back up, what do you do?
I'm on the bridge.
I'm just going to keep a wide berth.
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah.
Take a step back onto solid ground.
Okay. So you
I'd like to stay on the bridge if I can, but if it looks like the mammoth is going to be on the bridge.
Well, the bridge does rock a little bit towards the mammoth because of the weight distribution. It
Yeah.
actually seems to firm up the bridge's hold.
Oh, I'll
on
stay
that
on the
end.
bridge then.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. So, Juniper, can you make an attack roll for me?
Lovely. And it's plus 10, so that's 19.
Okay, that
Yes.
is. Roll damage.
Great. It's 4d8 plus 7. Yes, mammoths. They're pretty strong. So 27.
Okay. Juniper suddenly charges at the door and you see the tusks jab into it. It does a substantial amount of damage and you can see it crumbling as Juniper's mammoth form steps back out. It's not destroyed, but you can definitely see some of that purplish light filtering through. You did a hefty amount of damage to that door.
Beautiful. Now can I stomp on it?
Sure, I will say roll another attack for that.
Yeah, well, that's a mammoth attack.
Yes,
That's a mammoth
exactly.
action.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Do that again. That's 23.
Okay, that hits.
Lovely.
It's a door. It's not got a big armor class.
And this is 4d10.
Jeez.
So, who knew mammoths?
Can my next character be a mammoth?
Yeah.
It could
I
be
mean,
a
there are elephant people.
It could be a woolly Luxodon.
Yeah. I've wanted to play one of them for ages. I could do
Lovely.
that for the next game.
So that's 24.
Lovely, thank you, Jess. So Juniper stomps on the portions of the door that have already come and lifts her front legs and then kicks forwards, and it crumbles. As you come to your feet, Juniper, you see the dim room beyond, the purplish light, and your father staring at the gap in the door with utter shock on his face, and then says, "Well, that didn't go how I planned."
Can I fit through the door as a
You
mammoth?
cannot,
No.
no.
I didn't think I could.
Do we see her father as well?
No, you do not. Her big mammoth butt is completely obscuring the door.
Okay.
But Elsie and Brenna will have heard.
Obviously, hearing what he said, I go, yeah, didn't think we'd have a hairy elephant, did ya?
No, can't say that I did.
Remind me never to upset the dog.
Maybe a suggestion would be not to call her the dog.
The look is in shock.
Is Juniper gonna stay the hairy elephant?
I think she is at the moment because she doesn't know what her dad's doing. And at the moment, she's hella strong. So
Okay, so
I think she's just sort of stomping by the door a bit.
Because I am closer to the door, am I able to squeeze around?
No, I don't think so, unfortunately. Juniper is taking up a large portion of the space. Even with your dexterity, I think you would struggle, particularly as she is still stomping the ground. It would be difficult for you to weave through the legs. As you're stomping the ground there, Juniper, a little bit threateningly, your father cocks his head and notices the slightly sandier fur than a usual mammoth would have, and goes, "Juniper, is that you?"
She like puts her mammoth head and looks at the floor. Like a dog that's done something wrong. And it's
Now,
just like, yeah.
we've discussed your tantrums before. They are not helpful, are they?
She does a sullen stomp.
Juniper.
She looks away. There's like a small trumpet noise. Yeah.
Stop it.
Juniper turns back.
Okay. So, Juniper comes back to her normal form. Very good. Now, are you going to agree to stay?
No, I want to stay with my friends.
I tried to make you with Inspicion, but as ever, one must do it oneself. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Oh, I was just about to ask something.
I know!
Would we not have had a short rest before we knocked down the door?
Can we say that Juniper stayed as a mammoth?
Yeah.
Nope. She made the decision.
Oh, thank God I'm not going to be first for once.
Oh, that was like a total humble brag.
No, as in, I never like going first in battles because you then have to figure out what to do.
Agreed. I don't mind having a bad initiative. The only time it's useful is really if you have like a thing that says, if you go first before anyone else, then you get bonuses.
Like a rogue.
Yes.
I feel like
Yeah, but I'm yes, but I'm never close enough to do anything decent to anyone.
You have a crossbow.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like having good initiative goes against my actual talent for pre-planning to play.
Okay. 25 to 20, anyone? So Luke.
23.
23. And Flint?
20.
Lovely. 20 to 15. Juniper?
16.
Excellent. 15 to 10. Elsie?
13.
13. Flint, why are you raising your hand? Truffle is down.
You are correct, yes.
I forgot to mention that in the recap. He got taken out by one of the rays of the Beholder.
That is correct, yes.
So I don't know why I was so sassy to you, Flint, when I didn't remind you of that fact. I rescind the sassiness. I apologise. And Erallur, what did you get?
I got a 9.
Okay. So, just going to run through that order again. So, Luke is first, Flint is second, Juniper, Elsie, Erallur, then Juniper's father.
Have we got Vigo and
That is a very good point.
Brenna in there?
I didn't roll for that. Thank you, Kathryn, for reminding me. Okay.
I'm just going to sit this one out.
We're knackered from the beholder. We'll see you afterwards.
We're just
You,
having
you guys go.
Okay, so Vigo would be between Juniper and Elsie with a 14, and Brenna is between Erallur and Key. Okay, starting off, so Luke, you are at the other end of the bridge, and Key is just beyond the other end of the bridge over here.
Oh, so it's not like a vast room that we just opened the door to.
No, he was at the door.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
What is, I can check the room behind him without taking an action class.
You can, yeah.
What is the room past him like?
Make a perception check, because from your angle, it's quite difficult.
19.
I will say you can see some slate grey walls from your position and that purplish light that you saw before. You can't see what might be making it, but you could probably guess from your previous experience what might be causing that.
Is it a similar light to the portal that got me here?
It is very similar, yes.
Oh, good job. So Luke reaches into his pack and he quickly downs a potion of supreme healing,
Okay, that will be your bonus action.
which is 10 d4s.
Nice.
Ooh, that heals me for 45.
Nice.
Oh, okay. I've just removed all of them rather than just one from my inventory. I'll sort that. No longer my turn. 5. There we go. Cool. Right. After that, so it's Juniper nearest to him. Is anybody else?
Yes. Brenna and Elsie.
Okay. Don't really want to attack yet until we know what Juniper's thoughts are. Is there room above him? How tall is the door? Is it room enough to fly past through the doorway above?
It would be tricky. He's about 6 feet tall, and the door was probably 10 feet tall. So you could try it, but it wouldn't be easy.
Okay, I'm going to try it. So Luke takes off and tries to fly past.
You couldn't get that far flying anyway. You'd get to the other end of the bridge because it's 50 feet. You could get to there.
Could I dash?
You could dash, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I will say make an acrobatics check to see how well you go past him.
23.
Okay, you manage to go past. However, he does get attack of opportunity on you as you go past.
He does.
So that's an 18 to hit.
Oh, my armor class is 18.
Okay, so you see his arm move up and the glint of metal flicks out of the coat as he brings a sword that seems to actually switch out of a mechanism on his arm and strikes at you. You take 6 points of piercing damage, and you take 4 points of psychic damage as something about the blade strike seems to actually hurt your brain. It's almost like you go into immediate shock and then shuffle out of it a little. Okay, so you are now in the other chamber.
Okay, so I'm going to land. How far past him can I get?
You could get 40 feet past him.
I'll carry on for a good 20, and then
Okay.
I'm going to land, turn around, and just ready myself.
Okay, so that's fine. As you enter this chamber, you can see that there are 5 pedestals, similar to the ones that you've seen before. All of them have symbols on them. One of them is glowing. But from your vantage point, because you've landed, did you say?
Yeah, landed to face.
You can't see what the symbols on the pedestals are.
Okay.
That's Luke's turn. Flint, it is now your turn.
Where is Juniper's dad?
Over here.
So is he the one on the edge of the map, or is he just off the map?
Yes. No, he's the one right on the edge.
Okay. I have a bad idea. I kind of want to do it. Let me just check something real quick. Okay, so yeah, what the hell? I'm going to run forward as far as I can.
Okay, which is 30 feet, I believe.
Yes.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You would end up just beyond Vigo on the bridge.
Okay, and I'm going to
Well,
hold.
Next to Vigo, really, because of difficult terrain, because of being in his space.
I'm going to hold my action to throw something in his direction once everyone is clear, and I'm just going to shout at everyone, everyone move out of the way, I've got a bad idea and I'm going to go through with it.
Okay, so Flint yells this. Juniper, it is now your turn.
Juniper will look at her dad and say, please let us leave, Dad.
Roll a persuasion check.
It went so well last time. It's an 18. That's
Okay.
terrible for my persuasion again.
Okay. You see him look down at you, and there's a waver there. He's not entirely convinced, but there's a hesitation. You doing anything else on your turn?
If you won't let us pass, then I will try and make it so you can't stop us. And I would like to cast Hold Person.
Okay.
The wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay, and what's the DC?
DC is 16.
That is a failure with a 10.
Cool.
So you see him lock up as Juniper reaches out her paw. He is held.
Sorry, Dad. Looks away.
Okay. End of your turn?
Yep.
Okay, it is now Vigo's turn. Having seen that, Vigo says, what are we doing? Are we attacking or are we not? And still has out the short bow, but holds an arrow similar to Flint's idea, but doesn't attack with it. Juniper, are you staying where you were despite Flint's shout?
I think because she succeeded, yes.
Okay, so that's Vigo holding his action. It's now Elsie's turn.
I'd like to go invisible, please.
Okay, Elsie disappears from view. That's your action. Are you moving anywhere?
How big is the room that he's in?
It's quite big, but he is in the doorway, so it'd be difficult again for you to get through. You'd maybe have to...
Can I try and see if I can sneak past him now that I'm invisible?
Well, I'll say make an acrobatics check to see whether you can get through his space.
Thank you. And that becomes 18.
Yes, you do manage, particularly as he's held, it's easier. So you've gone invisible, you just slip through the gap in his legs and stand up in the room beyond, and you can see Saluk in a ready stance nearby.
Oh, is he in the room?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that bit. So I go to be near Saluk, but probably at least an arm length away in case anything happens.
That's fine. Then it is Erallur's turn.
Where am I, please?
You are over here on the other side of the bridge.
I see. And how much walking would it take to get to where everyone else is? Where he is specifically?
That would be difficult because Flint and Vigo are blocking the bridge.
How many feet away is it?
It is from you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 55 feet.
Okay. So I'm going to shout to everyone. I know he's being magically held, presumably.
Yeah, I would say you would know. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say, quick, let's tie him up before he breaks out of it and make sure to cover his mouth. I mean, everyone knows this because we did this with the other guy.
Yeah.
And then I will try suggestion, which I think has quite a good range, but let me just double check that. Oh, okay, 30 feet.
So no, that wouldn't work.
Can I get somewhere to be within 30 feet?
No, unfortunately not. Because of where Flint and Vigo are, you couldn't.
Okay.
Because it's not a case of being able to step around them because they're both in the way.
And that water is too wide to do a running jump over?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about 10 feet wide at its closest point.
Then I guess I'll hold. Do you think everything else I could do at this point?
Okay.
Who's going to next? I'm hoping Brenna will hear what I said. I think it's Brenna next.
It is.
Yeah. I'm going to hold a spell in case he breaks free.
Okay, what spell are you holding? If you're holding a specific spell, you have to decide which spell it is.
Yeah, maybe I won't do that then. Maybe instead I'll use my action to get as close as I can.
Okay, so you can dash. If you wanted to, you could go round this way past the beholder corpse? Because you could get quite far.
Yeah,
if you
I'll do
and
that.
then clamber up on the rocks the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I will say give me an athletics check.
It's a 7.
Okay. So unfortunately on this little crop here, you actually stumble and hurt yourself. So you would take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as you just go down on your ankle and it twists underneath you. You do make it that far still. You're now over here next to the beholder corpse.
Okay.
And given that it's quite heavily damaged, you could move past that without too much trouble. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You are within 30 feet of him exactly. But obviously because you've used your dash, you can't cast this round.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of Erallur's turn, which means it's Brenna's turn. They heard you and are going to take some rope out of their pack and see how well they can tie Key up. Yeah, looks fairly efficient and knots them together and then slips cord in his mouth. It's a little bit difficult because the muscles are held. It's hard to move the lips out of the way and his teeth were closed. So it's a little bit forced. It's a little bit awkward. But he's tied as best as Brenna can do at this moment in time. So it would then be his turn. I believe his whole turn has to be taken up by trying to break out of the hold. Is this correct?
Yes.
I know I keep asking. Spells 16 is the save,
16
yes?
is the DC, yeah.
Natural one. Okay.
Oh, dear.
It is not his day. So you feel the spell is still there, Juniper. You've seen that your father is being trussed up. But then you all start to hear a different noise, a familiar chittering from the hole above the room as the dim light catches a reflection of a few eyes looking down at you as you hear the familiar voice of Maybe say, "Protect the master!" And you see descending from the hole some Nothics. You in fact see 3 of them descend from the hole, but they are clambering across the rock and don't manage to get to the floor as of yet. But they've dashed underneath and are hanging from the rock, rather Gollum-like, as their eyes wink in the light. So that's the end of the round. So Luke, it is now your turn as you are in this other chamber. You also can't see Elsie because she's invisible.
Oh, okay. I'm at a loss.
Remember, you can hold your action if you want to, or you could fly around the room to survey it.
Yeah, so Luke's, his interest is being piqued by the glowing symbol.
Mm-hmm.
So in place where he is, he takes off and just flies up high enough to see what the symbol is.
Are you looking at the symbol specifically that's lit up?
Starting with that one, and then
Okay.
if it's light enough to see the others.
Okay, yeah, so you fly up, make a perception check.
18.
Okay, so the first symbol is not a ring like the portals you've gone through before. It is a pedestal. It's a square plinth. And there are the familiar symbols, but they don't carry that S sigil that you recognize as being for Sigil or a connection to that city. But there is a central square that has upon it what looks to be a very similar design to the metallic man that you saw before. Head. It's carved into the stone. It looks like that robotic face. Mm-hmm. And then as you look at the others, you see one that appears to be a circle that's carved quite deep into the stone with a ring of flames around the edge. You see a mountain that has a wreath of vines running around it and a crown sitting above the peak of the mountain. You also see what appears to be a cloud of mist that's quite lightly carved into another plinth. And then on the 5th plinth, you see nothing. There's no symbol on that one. It is just blank stone surrounded by the smaller magical marks.
Okay. As Dad is facing the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anywhere on the plinth, the lit up one, the active one,
Mm-hmm.
is there anywhere on the plinth that Salute could stand without using it?
Ooh,
Is it as soon as you stand on it, you're...
yeah, I'd say, given your experience of earlier, probably not, because you just touched the plinth with your staff and were transported before.
Okay.
So given that previous knowledge, I would say you probably wouldn't be willing to risk it.
Yeah.
If that's fair.
Does it look like the runes could be removed, pried out of their setting, or are they...
No, they are carved into solid blocks of stone.
Okay. And there's no other equipment or seeming like activation?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, no problem. So, having had a look, Salute stays up where he is. I think from his vantage point, he's probably not seen the other creatures coming in.
No, I would think not.
So, I'm going to ready my lightning javelin.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold it until anything goes to attack Juniper.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. So, Flint, it is now your turn. Nobody has moved out of the way, as far as you're aware, apart from Elsie, who disappeared.
Okay, in that case, I'm just going to turn my attention to the Nothics.
Okay.
And I'm going to yell at them in an intimidating manner.
Oh, as opposed to yell at them in a comforting manner.
Yeah, basically. So I'm going to shout at them, "Stay back or otherwise your master gets it."
Okay,
And
roll
I'm going to...
intimidation check then.
Totally undoes all the plans that I had.
Sorry.
It seems like you two are very much at odds.
I was literally going to be like, don't worry, we're not going to hurt him. And you've just been like, I'm going to hurt him.
Erallur's like, tie him up. Flint was like, get out of the way.
Yeah.
That's an 18, and I'm going to hold an action in case any of them look like they're going to present a threat.
Okay, that is fine. So you see them hesitate as they're moving across. They just don't take the next rock in the formation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing anything else?
No, I'll stay where I am. Actually, I might get a little closer to Juniper.
Okay, how close?
Not quite to the edge of the bridge, but just a little bit closer just in case she needs me.
About there.
Yeah, that works.
Cool, okay. That's the end of Flint's turn. Juniper, it is now your turn.
Can I whisper to Flint? Am I close enough? Am I?
Probably not that other people wouldn't hear you. He's still 10 feet-ish away.
Okay, I move a little bit closer to Flint.
Okay, you can definitely do that.
You're not really going to hurt my dad, are you?
No, of course I won't.
Okay. Sort of. I nod. I think about all the spells I know. Realise most of them are useless. Well, actually, I'll give it a go. I don't know about the Nothics. I would like to try a sleep spell
Okay,
on them.
go for it. What level are you casting it at?
I'll do it a 5th.
Okay.
That'll give me a good amount of points to deal with. That should be 5d8. So I'll
Okay.
roll that there. That's not amazing. So that's 22 hit points.
Okay, so you loose the sleep spell. It has no effect,
I
unfortunately.
didn't think so. I got too many low numbers.
Yeah, not even one of those eyes flutters.
It was terrible. Oh yeah, it wasn't concentration. That's fine. Phew.
Yeah,
I didn't even check. Oh, no.
yeah, because I would have held you to that, so...
Oh yeah. Well, you would have unheld.
Ah! Okay, end of your turn?
I think I look very guiltily at my dad for a moment and then don't do anything else.
Okay, Vigo's turn just comes round. It's not going to attack anything because nobody else has and doesn't want to be the one to suddenly shoot one of the Nothics and have them go crazy. So it's going to hold and see what happens. Elsie, it is now your turn as Saluk has flown up into the air and seems to have surveyed the room a little bit. Not much else has happened in the other room. What are you doing?
I would like to hold my action,
Okay.
but I'm going to get closer because I didn't realise Simon was as far away.
Got you.
So I'm going to get closer to Daddy.
Yeah.
Going to be behind him.
Yes. Yeah, you could sneak up behind him.
Daddy.
Matt, who's got his headphones in, just went, "Don't call Simon Daddy." I did call Simon Daddy. Yeah, so I probably get to between 10 and 5 feet. Close enough so hopefully he won't sense me.
Yeah.
But I'm close enough that So I want to hold my action for if he attacks someone else.
Okay, got it. And what action are you holding?
I'm just going to hopefully a sneak attack.
Okay,
that
I will
would
say
be
roll a stealth check with advantage then, because you are getting close to
Lovely.
him.
oh, 22, and those were both awful rolls.
Doesn't appear to have noticed you. It's hard to tell because he can't move.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you can imagine, it was like this.
Yeah. Okay, Erallur, your turn.
Where's maybe?
He is crawling towards Key. So the hole would be here-ish, at the top of the pen, if that makes sense, and crawling that way.
Okay, I would like to cast message on
Okay.
maybe and say, "Hi, maybe it's your friend Erallur again. I just wanted to reassure you that I don't know if message has a limit. It does. Okay, I'm not going to talk that much. Don't listen to the dwarf. We won't hurt your master. I'll cast message more than once if I can in a go. I don't know. No,
I think it's an action.
How many words is it? I need to
Well,
plan this.
5, I think.
No, message doesn't have a word limit because
okay.
it's sending that has a word limit.
Oh, that's
Message,
it, yeah.
you have to be within 120 feet, which you are, and it can be as long as you want.
Great. As long as my turn, I guess, within reason. So yeah, I'll just say, don't listen to the dwarf.
The spell is an action, but speaking is a free action. So I would say, because speaking takes a little bit of time, you could still say quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk as long as, 6 to 10 seconds, basically. Yeah, we won't actually hurt him because it's our very good friend's dad. So we're not going to hurt him. We are protecting him. And we're also protecting our master, Juniper.
Okay, can you roll a persuasion check for me then?
Yes.
Please?
This is the equivalent of good cop, bad cop happening in the same room. So it's like, we're going to break your dad. No, we won't.
I'm hoping the fact that I've cast it in his mind makes him think we have an affinity because he's magic-y.
Just roll the dice.
16.
Okay. Again, pauses a little bit and looks quite confused now. It's hard to read expressions on this face. You're not sure whether that helped or hindered, but he paused again, briefly. Okay, that's your turn. It's now Brenna's turn. They look at Juniper, shrug, and then hold their axe ready, having tied him up. That's all they do, so it looks like they're readying an attack just in case as well. Then he needs to roll again. Okay, the whole person goes away.
Oh, I can feel it.
Yes, you can, as your concentration dissipates. But that's his entire turn, and he still can't move because he's tied up. So there's that. And then it would be, can't move because he's tied up. So cool, I guess. And then it's the Nothic's turn. He can spit out the gag and speak, though. So he's going to do that and say to them, "You bloody fools, get them!" to the Nothics. And unfortunately, they follow his orders. So maybe is going to leap down on Flint and attack him. Okay, so it leaps down upon you and attacks you with its claws. Ooh, that would be a 23 to hit.
Hits.
On the first one. And a 23 again. I rolled 2 19s. Yep. So you take 4 points of slashing damage from the first hit and 9 points of slashing damage from the second.
Okay.
Another Nothic is going to jump down and try to attack Vigo and hits once, but doesn't hit the second time. Vigo takes 6 points of damage. Okay, and then the third one is going to jump down and attack Brenna, I think. So that will just hit takes 6 points, and just hit again, takes 2. Yep, okay. So that's that. So, things have attacked. Elsie, you were holding your action in case he attacked or anybody attacked?
In case he attacked.
Okay, so he didn't attack because he wasn't able to, sadly.
Mhm.
I feel like that is a technicality, but that is the words you said, so we have to take it off that.
I was waiting for him to attack someone.
Cool, thank you, Adam. That's very fair of you. Flint, you were holding until he did something? Or until somebody attacked Juniper?
Yeah, just if someone did anything
Okay.
threatening generally.
Okay. Oh, threatening generally?
Yeah, but
I think your wording was if they pose a threat.
yeah.
Okay.
You didn't say to who.
But
Okay.
knowing Flint, probably if anyone attacked any of the others.
Okay, so that happens. So what are you doing? Because this Nothic is on top of you and clawing away at you.
Is there anything else in view at all, or is that pretty much
There's
it?
the one attacking Vigo.
Yeah, I'll try and attack that one.
Okay, yeah, so you turn around, make your shot.
So that would be a 16.
Ooh, that hits.
Nice. Okay. 27 points of damage.
Ooh, righty-ho. So, Flint, you manage to just move, so the claws are just still swiping at you, but then you loose the shot and you see the spiny back of this creature just as the shot goes into it and it bursts with thunderous energy. It's still alive, but you hurt it a lot.
Cool. Awesome. I will use my bonus action to reload, I guess.
Lovely. Okay. So that was that. Vigo can attack because he was holding. That will hit. So he shoots at the one attacking you, Flint, at maybe, because he can't get a good shot at the one attacking him because it's a short bow, so the range wouldn't work. And does 6 damage. But because it's engaged with you, he gets sneak attack. Rogues, which is 66 for him.
So can you do sneak attack on ranged?
You can, if somebody is engaged with another character, if they're within 5 feet in melee, you can.
I always just read that as melee.
I don't believe so, anyway. So 11, 13, 16, 17. So, yeah, that's much better. So he did 17 points with sneak attack. I believe that's everybody that was holding actions.
I was holding, but until somebody attacked Juniper, so he doesn't.
Yeah, fine. Thank you, Simon. So that would now be back to the top. So it would be Sir Luke.
Give me anyway. Yay.
Yeah. Sorry, I briefly lost where we were because everybody had held actions. So, but we are back to the top because that was the Nothic's turn.
Can Sir Luke hear the commotion?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. He swoops down
Mm-hmm.
to have a look through the door to see what the hell is going on.
Okay. Check.
7.
You can't really see